Good morning. Welcome back to Conversations at the Corner. Welcome to episode 58, last Wednesday of February. Today is the 25th, 2 months past Christmas on this day. Pastor Nathan, good morning. Welcome to Conversations at the Corner.
Glad to be here.
I'm glad that you're here. Let's get right into this. We have one more ranking these things without knowing what comes next. And this is what I've decided to do today. I know that you're kind of a big a big movie buff.
Oh, okay.
So this is right up your alley. Kind of. We'll see. But what I want you to do is I want you to rank these Harrison Ford movies.
Okay.
Without knowing what comes next. So
How many do we have?
I got 5 again.
Okay, 5. All right.
So 1 through 5. So are you ready?
I hope so.
All right. Here's the first one. Witness.
Ooh, Witness. I have
Classic.
not seen that movie in 25 years, probably.
Yeah, probably me too, maybe more.
Yeah, that was one of those. So when I first really started getting into movies, which would have been about 2001, 2001, somewhere in there, I think I might have mentioned this in the podcast, but I had at our hometown, or where I lived, right up the street, there was the Wadhams Video Hut. Okay. And they had a little thing called 5 movies for 5 days for $5.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they couldn't be new releases, but I just went kind of bonkers one summer where I would just go and I would get 5 movies and I would go through them and probably watch like one a day, or maybe it would take me a little more than 5 days to get through them. But I just did that all summer. And Witness was one of those ones that I probably watched. I think it was nominated for Best Picture in its year, so that's how I would have known about it. I don't remember it at all.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
That's no judgment on the movie. I have no clue. Witness. Okay. All right. Here we go.
All right. The second one is I think my personal favorite Harrison Ford movie.
Okay.
The Fugitive.
The Fugitive. I liked that one. I feel like I have more of a memory of that than I do Witness, but I would have probably not seen The Fugitive since I saw it. I don't remember.
It came out like in 93.
Yeah, I don't think I would have seen it in the theater. But I definitely saw it on video shortly after. And I have I'm going to go with, oh man, there's some really good ones in here that I could lose out on. Oh man. I don't know if I like this. I'm going to go with 4.
Oh, I thought you'd go 3. I thought you'd stick it right in the middle.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, there are so many good ones that are left.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. Next one is Air Force One.
Air Force One. Why are you choosing these ones that I don't know? I don't remember them very well.
He was the president.
Yeah.
Playing it taking over.
I'm sure I saw it in the 90s. Gosh, it's going 3.
Okay.
Air Force One. Okay.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay. So here's where we're at this point where I should probably pick number 1. Your other option here is to pick a Star Wars movie, which I would be fine with Star Wars at number 2. I probably prefer Raiders of the Lost Ark. But there are at least 2 other Harrison Ford movies that I would... No, at least one that I would definitely put above Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm going to go with 1 on the thought that you probably aren't going to put this one. So I'm going to put Raiders. Okay. Let's see. What's the
So I figured that you would anticipate a Star Wars one.
Yeah.
So
you didn't do
I have left them out.
Oh.
So here is the 5th and final one that will be number 2 on your list. Ready?
Okay.
You don't even know that this is a Harrison Ford movie, I'm pretty sure. Secret Life of Pets 2.
Oh, he's a voice actor.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm fine with this list.
Yeah?
Raiders is number 1.
Uh-huh.
So that's fine with me. Out of all these, that's definitely number 1.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen Secret Life of Pets.
I don't know if I have either, but
I've seen the first one because my kids.
Yeah,
I watched the first one with my kids.
Uh-huh.
And the other 3 I just don't remember.
Okay. So what was the one that you was like your favorite? You thought I was going to pick it.
Well, I didn't think he would have it. He was in a movie called The Conversation in the early 70s. So it's by the same guy, Francis Ford Coppola, who directed The Godfather. Oh. And so in between Godfather 1 and 2, he directed this movie called The Conversation. And The Conversation is about this guy who's a private detective, and it's all about how he uses sound equipment to listen in on people and stuff like that. It's It's a little bit of a dark movie, so I'm not recommending that everybody go out and really watch it, but it's really smart.
Yeah.
And it's really cool in terms of its filmmaking and sound design and all that type of stuff. And he's in it. He's kind of like the villain, I guess.
Okay.
So he's in that. The other one that people might not know about, because his part in it is kind of brief, but he's in Apocalypse Now, which is, if everybody knows what Apocalypse Now is, it's like a Vietnam War movie that came out in the late 70s.
Okay.
It's kind of like a big epic. He's in that.
I kind of thought you were going to say Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger when you were.
No. And those are ones that, like those Tom Clancy ones, they're so almost interchangeable.
Yeah.
In my mind, I don't know if I could distinguish between those two.
Me either. I think he plays the same guy in both of them.
Yeah,
I think it's like a
probably
continuation.
does.
So been years since I've seen those, if I've even seen them. But Harrison Ford is an all-time great. He's now more than 80 years old, which is hard to believe. But he's a great actor.
He's a fun actor. Yeah, he's good.
Well, thanks for playing. This it was fun, kind of hearing you rank those and trying to figure out different things. But we are in the last week of February here.
Yep.
And we are going to conclude this series on finances. We've talked about kids and money and gone over things like allowances and managing money and communicating, teaching them about tithing. We've talked about church budgets and how those are built and maintained. We've talked about short-term and long-term goals, things like savings accounts and retirements and life insurance and vacations, those kind of things. So, Pastor Nathan, last Wednesday of the month, how are we going to conclude this month?
So what we're going to talk about this month is debt. Okay, so debt is one of those things that nobody likes. I don't want to be in debt to anybody. I don't want to owe money for any length of time. But debt is also kind of a normal part of life, because let's just take a house, for example. If you want to buy a house, even if you want to buy one that's relatively cheap in the Roanoke Valley, let's say you want to find something that's $150,000 or $200,000. Most of us don't have $200,000 laying around, so we can just buy a house outright.
Yep.
So if we want to buy a house, we're going to have to incur some debt to the bank. So debt, and that goes for a lot of other things too. So I thought it'd be good to talk about debt. I know that this is one of Dave Ramsey's things that he likes to talk about, getting out of debt.
Yep.
So let's kind of just do like a quick, what would you consider to be good debt versus bad debt? Let's try to give some examples. What do you think is good debt, bad debt?
Well, I think all debt is bad. I know what you're asking, but let me just say, I think all debt is bad. I think we should try to not be in debt. I'm in debt. You're probably in debt.
Or maybe a better way to put it would be bad debt versus necessary debt.
Yeah.
Okay. Bad debt versus necessary debt.
Okay. So your question was basically what is good or necessary debt, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I think you hit on the first one, housing.
Yep.
So I think most people, the biggest thing that they owe most likely is their house.
Their house.
The other quick and easy one, I think, is a car.
Yep.
I don't think you have to be in debt of a car. I think you can buy something that's less expensive and has less bells and whistles.
It's possible. Yep.
I think you could save for one. So I think you can buy a car and not be in debt. But I think a lot of people, they owe. Like I still owe on 2 cars. So those are the other ones. I think, and people may not agree with me on this, but depending on what you're going to do, I think college debt
Okay. Great.
might be good. And I'd like to dive into that a little bit more maybe later on. But
let's actually do it now, because one of the things we want to talk about is why something is good debt versus bad debt. So, for instance, let's take the house.
Yep.
A house is good debt or necessary debt. We understand that even if I'm in debt to the bank, I could potentially sell that house.
Yeah.
And pay off the debt, and maybe even if I can sell it for more than I bought it for, get a little bit of money through equity or whatever. I can do that. So a house is usually not the kind of debt that you're locked. Like you can be locked into. You got to pay every month, but you can get that back. Now, if you go into debt on a car, a car's value depreciates so much that it's hard to recoup what you're putting into. So that's one of the reasons why I think in a car, if you can not be in debt, if you can not have a car payment,
That's great when you don't have a
yes,
car. We've been
don't
there.
do that
Yeah, it's
because
great.
you don't want to have to depreciate that asset.
Mm-hmm.
So college, now let's talk about college
Yeah.
because that's the type of debt that a lot of people do go into.
Yeah.
And that one might be different depending on what you are doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just I'm going to get on a miniature soapbox.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. Okay.
Go ahead.
Miniature
I'll be
soapbox.
quiet and let you soapbox it up. Go for it.
So when I grew up, and I think when you grew up, kind of the idea that floated around in the air was everybody should just go to college. And it doesn't matter what college you go to, as long as you go to it and you graduate, it proves to potential employers that you can go through a 4-year college or university track, you can get the grades, you can accomplish something, and then they would train you in whatever specific thing maybe you're doing. And not that degrees didn't matter, because they did. If you wanted to go into finance, you need a finance degree or whatever, But there was a general kind of push to say everybody should just go to college. Like, we want everybody to go to college. And the fallout from that is that sometimes people go to college and they get out, and the kind of the work world changed a little bit in the 2000s, where employers weren't as willing to train as much. They wanted somebody who was kind of already set. They had a degree, they knew what they were doing, okay? So if you go to college and you get a degree in, let's just say, ministry, there's plenty of people who go to college, get a degree in ministry or Bible or whatever, and then they get out and they don't want to do that anymore. Well, then you're stuck with this degree that doesn't really do you any good, and you're also stuck with the debt, potentially, from that degree. So I think part of the problem, and so now the pendulum has swung a little bit, where some people are talking about, don't go to college. Like, it's a scam, right? Instead, you should go to trade school. Okay, well, you could have the same thing, potentially. You could have somebody go and apprentice to do a certain trade, and then they could learn that they didn't really like that trade, and then that's bad, right? So the question for me isn't like, should you go to college or should you go to trade school? The question is, what one is actually right for you, and what one is the proper investment for you? Because it's fine to say, like, electricians and plumbers make great money, and that's true, and it's good. It's a good thing. But not everybody's built to be an electrician or a plumber. Right? And it's fine to say that doctors make good money, or lawyers. Like, if you go and you go into med school and you go to law school and you put that investment in there, when you get done, you're going to make money as being a doctor or a lawyer. But not everybody's built to be a doctor or lawyer. So I think my soapbox here, okay, I want to get to the point of my soapbox. The point of my soapbox is that too often we've almost tried to, like, ideologically say, everybody should go to college, or everybody should go to trade school, or whatever. No, both of those things can be good, and both of those things can be bad, depending on the fit and the person and your resources. Those things matter. Okay, so that's my soapbox. I'm going to step off of it for one moment and let you make whatever comments you want to make.
All right. So first of all of those things are needed in life: the white collar careers and the blue collar careers.
It takes all kinds.
So I went to college. You went to college. I went to one college. You went to two different colleges.
I went to two.
You transferred.
I transferred.
What I would say is, several years ago, I was very pro college, like, to the kids, like, you're going to college. I don't care. Like Mom and I have college educations. We're educated people. That's what you're going to do. That's the way of the world. If you're going to get a good job, okay. So, I've shifted a little bit. Because our oldest one is a fireman, so he didn't go to college. He had to go through fire academy, so it's kind of like a higher education specifically for firemen who go to college. Our middle one is in landscaping and making a very comfortable living doing landscaping, mowing grass, pushing snow, trimming bushes, picking up leaves, all of those kind of things. He didn't go to college. So Brady is 14, and we're talking about college with him, and I'm kind of pushing that way. But really, where I'm at now is, depending on, kind of like what you said, what you want to do really determines if you should or should not go to college.
Right.
If you want to drive a tractor trailer, then you don't need to go to college.
Right.
I guess if you want to own your own tractor trailer company,
Then you might want some business.
maybe you should study business in college so that you can not only drive the truck but oversee the business
Right,
aspect.
and you know
so
that, yeah.
so that way you could say no, that would be applicable. Okay. If you want to do landscaping or be a dental hygienist or something like that, you
Right.
don't necessarily have to go to college. If you want to be a pastor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a teacher, you got to go to college.
Right.
If you want to be an engineer,
Right.
you got to go to college.
Yeah, you can't.
So there are certain things that you have to go to college to be able to do these things, and other things that's not a requirement. You may have to do a trade school, like you've said. Some careers you don't even have to do a trade school.
Right.
Trade school. So
Come out and do
really, I think
like
it's,
the landscaping. He didn't have to
Yeah.
go to a trade school.
yeah. Now I've said, hey, you should go to Virginia Western Community College. Just take a couple of basic business classes so
Mm-hmm.
that you know how that. To this point, he has not heeded my gentle nudging, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You're a grown man, make your own decisions, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it really depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I see these kids coming out. When I went to school, it was $20,000 a year at Indiana Wesleyan.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Now I think Indiana Wesleyan's $35,000 a year.
That's rough.
So you get kids coming out owing $100,000 or more, and if you don't know what you want to do,
Right.
or if you end up doing something that you don't need that degree, then there's an argument that you've wasted 4 years and tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
Now the other argument could be, but I had the life experience, the opportunity, all that, and there's education outside the classroom. I agree with all that.
Yeah. So my trajectory was kind of interesting because I went to Bible colleges and I got a degree in Bible theo and all that type of stuff. And for a while, I wasn't in vocational ministry. And so there was a feeling when we got into vocational ministry, when we decided to go to Bolivia, one of the rationales that we had in our minds was, look, we have a successful photography business, and we were running that, and that was great, and that was fine. But the part of the rationale was we have these degrees. Like we are educated enough to, like, we've got that component down. Like we understand the Bible, we understand how to teach, we understand some of those things, but we're not applying it or doing anything with it. And it was, in my case, it wasn't really a big waste of money. My parents had helped me out some with college. And then I had I worked a little bit and paid for some. And then I had some help from my grandma on my stepdad's side. So I came out of college with really no debt. Now I also went to cheap schools. Both of the schools that I went to were not very expensive. I think they were each about $6,000 a year. So that's much more.
A year, not a semester, a year.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to say it was a year.
Okay.
And my mom might be able to correct me on that, but I think it was a year.
Okay.
So I got out of college without the debt.
Yeah.
But there was still that feeling in my
Yeah.
20s and early 30s of like, man, did I waste 4 years? Not really. There were a lot of good life-forming
Right.
experiences that I had at college that have shaped me in ways that, like, I don't even know how to think about who I would be if I hadn't
Right.
done those things.
Yep.
But I do think it's hard, I think, to direct our children, as parents especially, into thinking about that long-term investment and really making that assessment. Like, if you go to a 4-year school and you get degree, certainly don't go if you don't have any clue what you want.
Yeah.
Like, there's people who go, I don't know what I'm going to be. I'm just going to take a few years. Well, don't spend like IWU $30,000 or whatever to not know what you're doing. That's crazy.
Now, I did go in kind of as an undecided, undeclared. So
Now I feel bad.
I was that guy. I wanted to do business, and I took one business class, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do this.
Okay.
So, I actually fell into
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I threw you under the bus.
No, it's all right. I didn't have to admit it to everybody. I just did. It's fine.
There you go. Well, but again, and there's like kind of ways to assess it. We talked about like if you go and you get a law degree, you're going to make money as a lawyer, and that's fine.
Right.
So incurring whatever debt you incur is probably okay.
Yeah.
You should be able to recoup it and pay it off and not be a big issue. But if you're going to go be a philosophy major, okay, and and I say this as somebody who loves philosophy and am very grateful that there are philosophers out there who write philosophy books and who teach it. And I think it's a valuable subject that we need. But if you're going to go get a philosophy major, you have to understand that there aren't a lot of career paths
Yep.
to that. Now, maybe you could go into academia, and that's fine. And if you do that, you should understand academia does not pay a lot of money.
Yep.
It's not like going out and being a lawyer. So I think there's some of that calculus that people have to engage in as they think about college debt.
Yep.
Okay, so we've taken a detour on college debt. I've gotten up on my mini soapbox. Again, a lot of it just ends up being like discernment and wisdom,
Yeah.
kind of think through what you actually want out of that experience. So what are some other times we've talked about bad debt? I'll give you a bad debt. Don't go in debt to your bookie if you have one.
No, please don't
Also,
gamble.
don't have a bookie.
Please don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
The house always wins.
the house always wins. Yeah. So let's think about it. What are some other examples of bad debt?
Well, let me ask you this. I don't have this. I guess I could Google it really quickly. I'm not going to, but what do you think is the greatest if you take housing and college out?
Okay.
What do you think is probably the largest debt that people have? Because this would fall under bad debt for sure.
If I had to guess,
Yeah.
I would say that it's credit card.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Too.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, and I think, and good, we were both on the same
Yeah.
page. I think that is bad debt.
Yeah.
Olivia and I have always had the practice of we pay it off.
Yeah.
Right
Every
away.
month?
Every month, right off. We're not messing with it at all. And that's good because credit card debt can come back to bite you because the interest on it is really high.
Yeah.
You get behind, then it compounds and all sorts of bad
Collections
Right,
and-
collections.
yeah.
All bad things can happen. So that is one of the things like we talked about, I can't remember if it was last episode or one episode before. We're talking about how with cash, when you have cash in hand, you can feel the money go away. You know it. But when you've got a credit card,
Yeah.
you don't feel it.
No.
And
You don't see it?
right. You don't
Yeah.
see it. In your mind, like abstractly, you might, I've got a $2,000 limit, whatever you might have, your credit line is. But you're still not thinking about, well, how am I going to pay this off? Whatever I decide I'm going to spend on this credit card, I need to have the ability to pay this off. And I think that's one of the big problems. People accrue credit card debt, or accrue it, sorry, not incrue it. Accrue it. I don't want to say by accident, but sometimes almost by accident. Like there's not thinking
Yeah.
about what you're doing because it's so abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think credit card debt's probably the worst debt that you can
Yeah.
come up with.
Yeah, you can do that. So I don't know what Dave Ramsey's like suggestions are. It's probably something to do like with carving out a certain part of your budget each month so that you can pay down the debt gradually.
Oh, he does the snowball. Have you ever heard of that? The snowball debt?
I don't know.
So what he would say is you rank your debts least to greatest.
Oh, okay.
And so you pay the minimum on, like, let's say you got 5 debts. So debts 2, 3, and 4, and 5, you pay the minimum on it.
Okay.
On debt number 1, your smallest amount, you throw everything that you have extra through the month.
Oh, on the smallest amount.
Yeah.
So the one that you could potentially pay off
Yes.
quickest.
Because you get that one done, checked off your list, and you get a win. So it helps you emotionally as well. Like, hey, I can do this.
Okay.
So let's say the first one is $300, and so your payment is $20 a month. But in 2 months you end up putting, $80 a month on it or whatever, and you pay it off in a couple months. So then what you do is you take that $80 that you were paying on debt 1, you add the minimum of debt 2, and then you're throwing all the extra at debt 2. So
Okay.
then you take the, let's say, 100 from debt 2, you roll it into the $50 payment of debt
So it kinda
3,
compounds.
150
Yeah.
Yeah. So he calls it the like something about the snowball debt,
Okay.
or something like that.
I'm sure he's got some pithy.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And
That makes
we've-
sense.
Yeah, we've done it before, and it really is effective, and you kind of get like rolling on it, kind of get excited about it.
Right.
So that's what he would say.
Okay. All right.
Dave, if you're listening, I hope I explained that right.
I don't think Dave Ramsey listens to our podcast.
Probably not, but Dave, if you are, just give us a shout out. Let us know.
I don't know. Maybe like they say that there's only 6 degrees of separation between any two given people on the planet.
Yep.
Maybe somebody knows somebody who knows
Yeah.
somebody who will tell Dave that we talked about him, and he'll.
I have some friends in Nashville. That's where Dave lives. He's where he's from. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're getting at here is just the idea that we don't really want to have debt if we don't have to.
Right.
I think that as a general rule, no matter what it is, whether it's college debt or a car payment or even a mortgage, not having that debt is better than having that debt.
And we have debt as a church.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot. We have one thing. It's our roof that we had to redo.
Right.
But we were operating debt free when we had the other building that the other church was renting from us. Well, now they bought that building, and so it paid off the debt that we had.
Right.
But we had to put the new roof on. And
Yeah,
so therefore,
that kind of stunk.
We
Yeah.
have debt that now we are paying 100% of. We're not
Right.
relying on them to cover it for us.
Well, and that's a good example of, anybody who's been a part of our church knows that we recently did kind of a little bit of a drive to pay off some of that debt.
Yeah.
And I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but the idea was that when we paid off like $50-some thousand.
Yeah, almost 56, I think.
Right. And so what that did was that I think that was 2 years worth of
2.5.
2.5 years worth of payments. So that makes a big difference. Even though you weren't able to clear the debt, obviously,
Yep.
that debt is now like part of it's gone.
Yeah. And all that went to principal.
Right.
And what it did is it saved us $45,000 of interest.
On interest, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. If paying down debt pays down, like it doesn't just pay down the debt itself. It saves you money on interest in a lot of cases, like with college debt and all that. So there's interest,
Yeah.
And that ends up being your big problem.
Yep. Pastor Nathan, what does Proverbs say about debt? Do you remember?
Now I feel really bad because I don't remember off the top of my head, and I feel like I should.
That's okay. So,
I'm going to throw
all right.
a dart out there
Go
and
ahead.
say it's bad. Proverbs says it's bad.
Yeah. It says that the borrower is slave to the lender.
Yeah. Okay.
Is
Yep.
what it says. So I think that's Proverbs anyway. But
Let's hope.
yeah.
That's horrible.
If I gave the wrong reference and you didn't even know, that's not good for us.
But that's a proverb that rings true. As long as I always have to remind myself, I don't actually own my house.
Yeah. The bank does.
I do, but I don't. I'm, know. And so you're always working for that person.
Yeah.
You're always working for that bank or whoever lent you that money.
And if you don't pay, they can come and take it from you.
And it's really bad if you have a bookie. And if you owe them a lot, they can come after you in ways that are not legal.
And we've seen movies about what happens. So,
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So stop that. You're going to come in here with a broken arm or something.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, that's a part of life. It is. Sometimes it's unfortunate, but it is a part of life. But there are also wise ways to handle it. I haven't taken Dave Ramsey's course, but he seems to have some pretty good advice on how to pay it down. And one of the things I would like for listeners to come away with is just the idea that when we enter into debt, as we will, try to be wise about the investments that you're making. Whether it's college debt and thinking about what kind of degree you're getting it, or whether it's a home, is this home a good investment? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
Always just trying to be wise about where that debt is going to lead you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's good. We've talked a lot about money.
We have. We wrapping up this, not only this episode, but this series on money this month. It's been good. It's important that we talk about this, that we know about it, that we try to do better and manage our money in a way that honors God. So, Pastor Nathan, thank you for directing our conversation over the past month. I really appreciate it. One last thing, don't forget to our people at Emmanuel, this coming Sunday is March 1st, and that means that 2 services begin. So we're excited about that. 9:15 is the first service, 11 is the second. So don't forget about that change. It's this coming weekend. So looking forward to expanding the kingdom through extra room to reach more people for Jesus. So that is coming up. Don't forget about that. Be inviting family, friends, coworkers as we get ready for Easter coming up here in just a little over a month. Thanks again for joining us. Let me pray with you as we close out this episode and this month. Lord Jesus, thank you for the way that you provide for us financially. And Lord, not just financially, but in all the different ways that you provide for us. Everything that we have is because of you. Everything that we have is from you. Everything that we have is yours. It is not ours, it's yours. We are stewards of it. We're managers. And so, God, thank you for entrusting different things to us. Lord, help us to be wise with our finances. Lord, help us to be wise personally with our finances and wise as our finances as a church as well. God, I pray that you would give us wisdom. I pray that you would give us strength. Lord, help us to do what is right, not what everybody else is doing. But God, again, just thank you for all that you've given to us. God, I pray that you would continue to be with us as a church as we move forward. Lord, bless 2 services starting on Sunday, Lord, as we head into spring. Lord, what an exciting opportunity we have to reach more people. And so, God, I pray that you would just continue to bless us and help us as we reach more people for you. Lord, be with our people. Help them to be ambassadors for Jesus today. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks again for joining us. Same time, same channel. Join us next week as we start March. Brand new topics. Excited about it. Can't wait to share it with you. Keep rolling, Emmanuel.